Welcome to the Tech Ranch, live and local here on Super Talk 1270. The latest gadgets, online security, websites and apps, social media, and so much more. How can technology help you? Let's find out. It's time for the Tech Ranch on Super Talk 1270.
From our studios in beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, along the mighty Missouri River, here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
The internet is arguably one of the most important inventions of all times. While we talk a lot about what the future of the internet is, there's no doubt that the internet is full of useful information and services available right now. So today we'll go over what we feel are some of the most useful websites you can find today on the World Wide Web. Miss Metaverse Katie Cooney will be joining us later to weigh in on what she thinks are the most useful websites as well. At the control panel, Mr. Producer Extraordinaire, Mr. Jim Walsh.
Let me have another swig of my iced coffee here.
Yeah, it's a good day for that, actually. It's just a little warmer
my voice
out
is,
here.
Cracking. I'm going through puberty again.
There's always that when we get older, isn't there? Yeah. So, you were just talking a little bit about the flyby of Pluto, which I haven't been following. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
Now, as I understand it, as of today, it's making its closest entry, and what happened is the cameras on the, what do you call it, satellite, whatever it is, the probe, the cameras have turned toward Pluto, which means that we have lost contact for about 24 hours. So we're not going to know for a day or so how well it works.
I see. So how long has this spacecraft been in flight? I'm guessing a couple of years.
Yeah, I'll pull up the information.
Okay, that'd be great. That'd be great.
I think 16 months is what I read.
Okay, yeah, it's unfortunately I was busy over the weekend, so I haven't been following it, but it's interesting to see that we're going to be able to take our closest look ever at Pluto.
Yeah.
So now Pluto isn't even considered a planet anymore, is it? It's actually considered a moon of something else, right?
A planetoid, or
they changed the designation of Pluto here. We're gonna have to look that up. I feel not informed here right now, Jim. So we'll look it up over the break maybe and come back with that in a few minutes.
Tomorrow the New Horizons is what they call the craft.
Okay.
And it apparently makes the big approach tomorrow.
Okay, very cool. So we have that going on. Over the weekend, I was checking out a new set-top box. Actually, it's not new. It's just new to me. It's been out, I think, for close to a year now. I talk a lot about the Roku, of course, and Apple TV, and some of these Android set-top boxes if you're looking for ways to cut the cord when you're watching television. So I decided to go get the Google Nexus, and I just want to clarify that this is not the phone Nexus spelled Nexus.
Okay.
It's actually spelled Nexus. Now, I don't know why they would have two brand names of Google that are so similar in name, but they do. And but this is a set-top box, and you plug it into your TV through an HDMI cable, just like you would anything else that you plug into nowadays. And it actually brings the Android experience to your television. And I've played around with some of these third-party type of manufacturers that have done this in the past. I haven't played around with Google's before. And I will say that I was pretty impressed with it. Also got the controller. So had grandkids over the weekend at the house and let them play with this. You can actually bring in Google, go to the Google App Store and bring in games. So if you've bought games for your phone before or your tablet, you can actually bring them to the TV screen with this and not have to, push them using a Chromecast or whatever. Although you can cast to the Nexus player as well. So if you want to do that, you can. But it has so many things on there already. If you want to watch Netflix or YouTube or anything like that, it brings them in HD. I mean, it is actually pretty cool. And the set-top box costs $80, one-time fee again, so you don't have to pay a monthly fee with it.
That's good.
It also comes with a remote control that you talk into, which I know is becoming more and more commonplace. But I actually played with that a little bit. So I said Google Music, and it actually brought up an array of music, and I was pretty impressed with that. So so you can just talk to the remote, and it takes you to the place you want to. If you want to play a particular game, you just tell it what you want to play. If you want to, if you're racing, I forget the Beach Cars, I think is the one that my grandson was playing on when I was watching.
Beach Cars, okay, is that a game?
And it's a game. Yeah,
Okay.
it's in the Google App Store, and he went and got that, and within a couple minutes he was playing that thing with the controller that looks a lot like an Xbox controller or what have you. So, and it's all wireless. Everything's wireless on this thing. Now, I haven't. What I really want to try is conferencing. It's got a USB port on it, and I'm not sure if I can add a webcam to that or not. So I'm going to play around with that and see if that's possible. This could be a very inexpensive way for a person to actually do some web conferencing right over your TV.
We need to try it on the air. Who can we conference with on the air?
That would be cool to try. Yeah. The other thing that we need to do sometime, Jim, is with Periscope and with I forget the other thing with Twitter. They have a couple of platforms now that we can just set up a tablet over here and we can broadcast ourselves as well, right over the Twitter feed. We'll do that next week, actually, and we'll let everybody know that. So, and we kind of have a special announcement today too.
Do we? Oh, yes, we do.
Yes, we do. So, according to our program manager, this show is going to 2 hours.
Woo!
Unbelievable. So after
double the work.
That's right. That's exactly right. You and I might not be as excited about it, but hopefully everybody is excited about the fact that...
I think it's great.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
So in a month, we are going to be moving to a 2-hour format, and pretty excited about that. So
now, do we know what time? Is it going to start the same time?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. We're just adding another hour onto it. And I think there's some talk as well of doing a rerun like on Saturdays locally here.
Sure.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. We're pretty excited about it here, and hopefully we can. I don't think we'll have any problem filling 2 hours. In fact, we never even get through the stuff we have for. In fact, I don't even get close to what we plan, every week anyway. So it should be a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to that as well. What else did we have? Oh, the Roam Pod.
Roam Pod.
ROAMPOD.com.
Roam if you want to.
That's good. That's very good.
B-52s.
The Roam Pod this is actually pretty cool. There's a lot of times, and I'm going to pick on a cruise ship. You have friends and family with you, and you want to be able to communicate with them. So I see a lot of people that travel that take walkie-talkies with them because they have no other way.
Sure.
They get on the other part of a ship, or if they're out on a hike or something, they want to talk to each other. There's no internet in a lot of these places, okay? So you can't use your phone because there's no data plan for your phone or whatever. So this Roam Pod actually syncs to your device, to your phone, and then the other person has one with them as well. It's just a little thing that looks like a flash drive type of scenario as far as the size goes.
Yeah.
And that actually creates this little mesh network, so you can utilize your phone to send texts to everybody, even though you don't have internet or any other way of doing that. So
I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. And the more people that have it, let's say there's a few people that are on the boat that have it, for example, you can create this large network, and they're actually coming out with voicemail and things with this as well. So Roam Pod, ROAMPOD.com, if you want to check out more. We'll talk about it a little bit more after the break, and we'll be also talking about useful websites. So come on back.
Right now, 77.
Get the traffic and weather information you need anytime on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
Follow the Guru of Geek at facebook.com/The Tech Ranch or Twitter at Guru of Geek or thetechranch.com. Here again is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we want to thank all the listeners across the country and around the world who follow us on the Blueberry Network. We're also on iTunes, Roku, Tuned In, and of course our own app, Radio Pup. So all kinds of places you can join us. And I'm sure that'll all be the same when we go to 2 hours.
Yeah.
In 4 weeks. So that should be very, very exciting. Jim, you were just investigating, the Pluto thing, and I'm such a space nut. I just can't get over the fact that I don't know any of this.
Yeah.
So why don't you bring us up to date on the Pluto satellite situation?
Okay, the New Horizons probe, which I found out was launched in 2006, January of 06.
Okay.
So it took 9.5 years to get to Pluto. Bear in mind, it's the fastest man-made object ever made by man.
Okay. Wow.
And yet it took 9.5 years to get as far as Pluto. Tomorrow is the big approach when it will turn its cameras toward the planet Pluto and start recording and collecting data. At that point, it will be turned away from the Earth, so we'll lose the signal for about 24 hours.
Okay.
And everybody's just going to sit there and cross their fingers and hope that everything works out okay and that it will turn back. And when it does, we should get some pretty cool information.
So I'm assuming that when they turn the cameras the other way, and they have it programmed so that in 24 hours the cameras come back the other way and they can talk to the probe again, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's interesting to me is they're using technology from the year 2006.
Sure.
So think about what things were like back then.
Things have changed a lot in 9.5 years.
I was going to say things have changed
Yep.
an awful lot.
And
in the last
I would
9
be
years.
willing to bet that even when they were making the spacecraft, things changed dramatically. But they had to even probably go with some older technology simply because they had some experience with that and knew what was going on. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And you had actually looked up the definition of a planet as well, because Pluto isn't considered a standard planet anymore.
Well, Pluto has its own orbit around the sun. It's not orbiting another planet, but it's not big enough to be a planet. A planet has to, the term they use is clear the neighborhood.
Okay.
Which, as I understand it, I could be totally off base here, but as I understand it, a true planet has to have enough of a gravitational pull to clear away all the debris in its orbit so that it becomes the dominant orbiting body in the path of the orbit.
Gotcha. So
Pluto is not that big.
So, and that's what differentiates it from like a moon or whatever, because a moon, of course, has to orbit a planet.
Exactly.
Okay. A asteroid or a meteor or whatever. Okay. They're considered those, and Pluto is not considered that because it does have a little bit of an atmosphere, or?
Well, the main thing is that it has its own orbit, a fairly steady orbit around the sun.
But I think some asteroid belts and things, too, also would fall into that, correct? I mean, so there has to be another differentiating thing between like an asteroid and a dwarf planet. That's what I'm getting at here, I guess. And I think that there is an atmosphere that clarifies that, although I'm not sure either. So
I think it's a matter of equilibrium. I'm not sure about this, but there's what they call the hydrostatic equilibrium.
Okay.
Which has to do with the steadiness of the orbit.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe the rotational spin of the planet as well.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, North Pole, South Pole type of situation. So, okay. Very good. So yeah, we were talking a little bit about Rome Pod right before the break, and I just wanted to, if you want to check this out, you need it's actually very cool. RomePod.com. If you're the type of person who likes to get out and do some kayaking or hiking, and you get a little off the grid, but you go out with people and you want to have a way to communicate with them other than with your traditional walkie-talkie or whatever, you can utilize your smart device to do this. And all you have to do is carry a Rome Pod with you. And you'll have nice coverage with it. Of course, if you're in an urban area with a lot of buildings, probably not as good a coverage as if you're in the wide open. But people probably in the wide. The reason that you need this is you're out in the wide open and you don't have those type of coverages. So you got to go check this out. Rome Pod. You pick up 2 of them for $150, and it's actually pretty cool. I'm going to have one coming at us here shortly too, so you and I, Jim, can play around with it and check it out.
We'll go out in the backyard and try it out.
We'll have to do that, And I know they're working on ways to use it for voicemail and data as well. So it wouldn't surprise me in the near future that you could share some type of internet connection from a distance away using this meshable network that they're working on. So RomePod.com, go check it out. So, all right, so talking about websites, do you have some favorite websites that you use quite often?
I have quite a few websites. I have a couple of websites that are related to the industry I'm in, which is radio.
Okay.
One called All Access, which anybody in the radio biz is familiar with All Access.
Sure.
And it has some social billboard stuff there that it's mostly guys insulting each other, though. But the genuine useful information comes where they talk about the current music that's really hot and some of the current trends in talk radio, programming trends and content trends and that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, and I think I bet you everybody that's listening to us probably has the same type of thing. Not All Access like that, but most people have a couple of websites that they're whether it's in their industry or if they like to buy a lot of stuff on eBay or whatever it is, you're going to have a couple go-to websites that every time you turn your computer on, that's what you're going to check out.
I like Amazon. So, I like Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
I have no real preference. Because I've been on Amazon longer, I probably am more likely to default toward that one.
Okay. Do you buy a lot of books and things online?
Oh, yeah. I'm a bookworm.
Okay.
And I love to buy books online because generally you can get great deals on them.
Right. And in fact, I think a couple of the websites that I have on here actually offer free books.
Oh.
So you'll probably like that. So when we get into that in a little bit here, one of my favorites is a site called Ninite.
Ninite.
Ninite. You have a lot of updates that go on in your computer all the time. And a lot of times when you have updates that go on, then the drivers and those type of things become obsolete.
Yeah.
And Ninite actually has a little tool, and it's a trusted place. This is a place that we go to as professionals to find drivers for computers when, like if your sound card isn't working properly or whatever, Ninite will actually look at your computer and bring those things in. And then it'll also, if you want the newest update to Chrome or whatever for a browser, Ninite will have that, and it's all virus-free stuff. And that's what I love about Ninite is that they are a trusted source. And so anything that you need to do as far as updating your computer, you can go to Ninite, and what's crazy about it, it's all free.
Oh.
So you can go there, and I'm sure they have a premium service as well, but I have never used their premium service. I just go in there and with my free account and get all of this stuff. So it's pretty cool. The other one that I have, and I think this is, I'm handing Jim a sheet. What do you see on the sheet, Jim?
It looks like a ruler.
That's exactly right. iRuler.com. I can't tell you how many times I've been sitting in front of my computer and I'm like, but I can't find a ruler to measure, whatever, because I'm doing some work on a graphic or whatever. You can go to iRuler.com and the ruler is right on your screen.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of clever. I mean, it's these crazy things that you don't think about that, because of the world we live in, a lot of the stuff we don't have laying around anymore.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able to actually just grab a graphic and this thing actually is a full-fledged ruler.
Well, there are websites that are stopwatches.
That's exactly right.
If you're in a situation where you need to time something out, you don't have a stopwatch on you, or for some reason you don't have a timing device, there you can go to a website.
That's right. And I think that's the point I'm kind of getting at here is that anytime you need any of these type of things and you don't have access to them, just find out what time it is in San Francisco.
Yeah.
You can just type that in you don't have to look for, clocks to San Francisco. You can just you can actually ask Google or Yahoo the question.
Yeah.
What time is it in San Francisco? And those browsers actually bring that up. So, yeah.
By the way, it's 9:26 right now in San Francisco, in case anybody should be wondering.
I'm glad that you brought that up,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. And you know that right off the top of your head because you keep track of
Well,
things
because
like
we're
this,
central here, and you subtract 2 hours for central.
Exactly. All right, another one that I think is kind of cool is it's called Study Blue. Are you familiar with Study Blue?
Study Blue.
All right, so this one, I guess I'll just give you the sheet.
All right,
there's a second graphic on there. It's a way to build online flashcards.
Flashcards, I like it.
And a lot of students, and in fact, you're still a student. I don't know if flashcards would be appropriate for what kind of studies you're in anymore. But if you have a youngster in school or whatever, and you're looking for a fun little way to develop some flashcards.
Well, I tell you what I would like to do with flashcards. I'm taking up piano again.
Okay.
And I'm learning to read music. I'm okay with the treble clef, but the left hand, the bass clef, I have a lot of trouble interpreting those notes.
Okay.
So I was thinking of developing flashcards.
Sure.
And you flash it, B flat, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, this would actually be an online way of doing that. And, of course, you could use your smart device and pull up those flashcards, too. So if you were sitting in front of the piano or whatever and wanted to utilize those without having a big computer screen in front of you, you could use your tablet or your flash or your smart device or what have you. So, yeah, I think that's kind of a cool deal, too. Evernote. Another website that I use, probably
I've heard of that one.
Most go-to website is
I think
Evernote.
we've talked about that.
Haven't we? We talk about it a lot on this show. I have all the shows that I've ever done for the Tech Ranch are on Evernote. And that's what's cool about it is that I can go back 3.5 years from now or 3.5 years ago and look at what I talked about 3.5 years ago because everything is on here and it's all in the cloud. So it's not stored on this one device. I can actually go to my smartphone or my computer or anything and grab those notes. And everything is searchable. So I keep, anytime I'm talking to somebody that I want to recall later on, I just open up Evernote and start recording it. And it also has an audio feature, and it changes audio to text if you want it to. So, so there's a lot of cool things on there. And it's free. You know, I've never paid anything for Evernote, although I've noticed lately when I sign in now, they're trying to get me to move to the basic plan, which is $2.99 a month. So it's not, even then, it's not very expensive.
Yeah, it's not outrageous.
But I have, you know, approaching 1,000 notes now, and you can categorize them in the whole bit. So I love Evernote, and I love the access to my notes from it. And I think a lot of businesses are starting to use more and more things like this. Why collect all that paper?
Yeah.
I mean, if I kept my show notes, which of course you're looking at here, are 8 pages worth today.
Right.
And the only reason I print them out is occasionally we have internet issues or whatever here, so I'm not able to access that. And of course, I want to make notes during the show here too, and I don't have time to actually type something in or whatever, so I write things down. But you'll love Evernote, so I can't tell you how often I've used it. In fact, it's a daily website or a website I go to every day, and I think most people, if they knew about it, would utilize it the same way.
I may start using that for my own show.
You would love it, and even your notes for school and anything else, Jim. So, all right, everybody, after the break, we will have Miss Metaverse, Katie Aquino, so come on back.
Right now, 77.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at supertalk1270.com. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we are talking about useful websites, and I have both our Facebook feed and our Twitter feed up right now. If you have a useful website that you'd like everybody to know about, go ahead and just push those on to our Facebook or Twitter account, and we'll put them on the air for you. So go ahead and do that. Join us on the phone, Miss Metaverse, Katie Aquino. Katie, how are you?
I'm doing well, Marlo. How are you doing?
Doing fine as well. And, of course, this is almost like a milder version of App Wars. Yeah. I asked Katie to put together some of her useful sites as well. And I have a list here, and I know we won't even get close to going through all of them. So we're just going to get right into it here. So, Katie, what is your first useful website?
Okay, so I think I want to start off with this one website that I really, really like, and it's called Stick, STICKK. Stick allows you to create a commitment contract to achieve a goal. So if you want to lose weight or stop smoking, Stick creates an incentive to help you stick with the program. And what you do is, let's say you want to quit smoking, right? You create a profile on Stick, and what you're going to do is there's a minimum of $5, and you can choose where your investment will go to if you end up breaking the contract. So if you make a bet and say, you know, my friend Bob, I want to quit smoking, but I'm going to put $20 down, and if I don't follow through with my plan to quit smoking, I break my commitment contract, Bob will get my $20. And I think that's a great way, because studies show that if you are putting money into a commitment, or also it's the accountability. It's also your reputation, So being able to follow through with something is good for you, and it's also good for, let's say, a charity you might want to donate towards as well.
So does it allow you to go in and do updates to it? Let's say you're trying to lose weight and you want to lose, let's say, 2 pounds a week or something like this. Will it actually allow you to do that?
Yes, it does, and it's really great, because I've heard of people finding sponsors because of this website. I forget the man's name, but he lost something like 100 or 150 pounds, and he created a campaign page on Stick, and through that he ended up losing all this weight, and he ended up having sponsors reach out to him because of this, because he achieved his goal. So that's great.
That's a great website. I have never heard that before, so I'm going to go check that out. So
definitely.
My first most useful site is one called Zamzar. Are you familiar with Zamzar?
I use it every day.
So yeah, if you get a PDF from somebody, and of course that's probably the most popular way to get a document via email, and you need to put it into your Office Docs or into Google Docs. It's a little bit of a challenge if you don't own Adobe Acrobat, because PDF is designed for read-only. So what you do is you go to Zamzar, you upload that PDF in there, and you say, I want to change it to an Office document, and it does its little whirly-wool thing, and in a couple minutes, you have an Office doc. Or if you want to change a JPEG to a PNG file because you need to put that up on a website or something, Zamzar is perfect for it. And what's the cost for all of this, Kate?
It's free $99.
You gotta love free. So Zamzar, just like it sounds, Zamzar. And I guess since both Katie and I use it, I would say that's a 2 thumbs up for this website. A great website to go to and utilize.
Definitely. And it's funny because that's a different way than I usually use Zamzar. Being that I do a lot of video editing and things like that, it's really hard to download, let's say, if you download something from YouTube, right? Most websites will only download, especially for free, YouTube videos as an MP4, right? An MP4.
Right.
But Zamzar is great because you can actually convert that video into just an MP3 audio part and use that for whatever piece you're creating.
So are you able to put the URL of the video into it and then it converts it over?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think the way I do it is I download the video first from, let's say, KeepBid, right?
Right.
KeepBid, by the way, is another great resource. If you want to download a YouTube video, you can use KeepBid to download the YouTube video as usually an MP4 or something like that. And then what I'll do is I'll upload it from my computer onto Zamzar, and then it will send me an email with a link to download the MP3 file
Gotcha.
for it. It sounds like a lot, but it's not.
Okay, very good. I've never utilized it that way before, so that's interesting. I do a lot of conversion from video to audio myself, and you're absolutely right. They only allow a certain size file before they kind of don't allow you to use their service anymore. So very interesting. On to the next one. What do you have next for us?
Well, speaking of YouTube, there's a website called $0movies.com. Now, I'm not sure how legal this website is, but it seems to be perfectly legal. What it is it shows you thousands of movies that you could watch for free on YouTube, and it's always being updated. So you could find everything from indie films, and you can actually discover a lot of movies you might have not discovered otherwise through $0 movies. So I actually like this one.
I've used it myself, and you're absolutely right. And since it's on YouTube, I guess the thing is that YouTube handles the legality of the movies that are on there. So hopefully the videos that are on there are legal to have on YouTube. And if they're not, usually YouTube will remove them in a short period of time anyway. So
right.
I would say that so $0 movies is basically just kind of a fancy search engine for those type of movies that are on YouTube. Yeah, it's a great website, and I recommend people, if you're looking for something other than maybe regular TV to watch, great place to go.
Definitely.
All right, next on my list, let's see here. I promised Jim I'd bring this one up because he's an avid reader, and so Jim, you'll want to take note of this, 100zeros.com.
100zeros.com.
All spelled out. So HUNDREDZEROS.com. Site lets you download free Kindle books. 100zeros.com. And they have thousands and thousands of books for free on there for your Kindle, Jim. So great place to go. And, most of these are authors that probably, haven't made it to the big time yet. But I'm sure, I'm not as avid a reader as I used to be, so I haven't been on there myself to actually, read anything with my Kindle. But I'm guessing that people who enjoy reading, you'll find any topic that you want to on there. So 100zeros.com. You're up next, Katie.
Okay, this one I actually like a lot because nowadays it's really confusing because if you're, let's say, speaking to a school, you're applying for a job, or just there's many different reasons why we get called upon to send a fax nowadays, right? And
Right.
It seems like, okay, who has a fax machine? How do I send a fax? right? Well, this one website called FaxZero, so it's FaxZero.com. It allows you to send faxes anywhere in the U.S. and Canada for free, which is cool.
So do you, when you send a fax, does it put like an ActiveX or something on your computer so that when you go to print, you can go and print the document that you're doing and then it changes it into a fax, or how does that work?
What you do is you upload either a .doc or a PDF file up into the website, and it will actually send it as a fax and be received like through a fax machine to whoever needs to receive the fax.
Very clever. So, yeah, so you just upload the document you created, and it converts it over to a fax and sends it on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the cost for this is?
It's free 99. It's free, but
Okay.
that's only the U.S. and Canada. If you send it outside of the U.S. and international, it's like small fee to do so.
Oh, okay. So, but for most people, that will work just great. So, fantastic. Next one that I have on my list is polishmywriting.com. Polishmywriting.com. What it does is it'll check your writing for spelling and grammatical errors. So it goes a little bit beyond what your normal spell check will do. So what it does, for example, is if you don't know which to use, for example, TO or TOO, I'm just throwing that out there because that's just right off the top of my head. It'll actually highlight that and probably make a suggestion to you as to which one you should be using, that would be proper in that particular way that you're using it. Whereas in a regular spell check, both spellings are correct, so it'll go right over the top of that. So that's just one instance with polishmywriting.com.
Ooh, I like that one.
So yeah, I hear you're writing as we speak here. So, okay, you're up next.
Okay, so this I actually really love because no matter what business you're in, it seems like we all have to have social media. It just seems like there's no way around it. If you own a small business or even if you're at a major company, social media is very important. And also, we're always, having to upload images and share content. So this one website is very great because not all of us are a designer. Not all of us have the ability to create images. And this is a great website to create free and easy-to-use templates for everything from Facebook cover photos to creating pin-worthy Pinterest images, and it's called Canva, Canva.
It is one of my top-rated websites as well. I do almost all of my graphical work in Canva now.
You do? Oh, that's great, and it's so great to use because it comes with easy-to-use templates, and let's say you want to make a Facebook cover photo. All you do is you just insert whichever pictures you want to put in the cover photo, or you could just use their own images that come in the database that is on the website.
Yeah, I love Canva, and again, Canva.com. If you're looking for a quick way to do something graphic-wise, or you want something a little more complex, Canva is a great place to go. And, of course, it is free. So after the break, everybody, we'll continue our conversation. So come on back.
Right now, 81.
Sean Hannity, weekdays at 2, only on Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And in studio, we have producer extraordinaire Jim Walsh, and on the phone, Miss Metaverse Katie Aquino, and we are chatting about useful websites. And Katie and I have been going back and forth a little bit about the sites that we like to use, and we will be posting a list of these sites, of course, on our websites. Mine is at thetechranch.com. And Katie, where will they find your list? And I think we lost Katie. There we go.
FuturistMM.com.
Say that again, since we didn't have your microphone turned up.
Oh, okay. So my website is FuturistMM.com, and I will be writing a blog today about all these neat, useful websites for you to use.
Very good, very good. All right, and I think at the break you were talking about Canva, Canva. Of course, it's Guru of Geek approved as well because I use Canva all the time. How about Pixlr? Do you use Pixlr at all?
Yes, I do use a variety of them when I have to, but me being a little bit more of the creative side, I like to use my Photoshop too. But,
Okay. Jim was shaking his head. Do you use Pixlr, Jim?
I do
Okay.
for the website here at the station.
Okay.
For, our pictures are all a standard size.
Right. Yeah.
we
And
have to
Pixlr
shrink
is
everything down.
pixlr.com. And a great little website if you need to do a little editing to a photo, just like Jim was talking about. So it's perfect for that kind of stuff. You won't do any type of layout, with a photo in there or whatever. But a lot of times between Pixlr and Canva or Photoshop, as Miss Metaverse was talking about there, you'll utilize those first to get your photograph ready to go before you put it into something like Canva to do your finished work. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Definitely.
All right. So next one on my list is Remember the Milk. RememberTheMilk.com. It's a to-do list. So so I'm sure in the old days, our moms would always tell our dads, "Don't forget the milk, remember the milk." So
I'll write it down for me, honey.
That's right. Well, that's what this is, and it's a website you can go to. It actually integrates in with your Google Calendar if you want. Also is a standalone app, so if you want it on your phone, you can do that too. But RememberTheMilk.com. It's what I like about it. It's easy, and I'm all for easy. So if you need a to-do list type of thing, you can go in there, and then when you accomplish the task, you just check it off, and away you go. So it's pretty cool stuff. So yeah, next one on your list there, Katie.
Okay, so this one I've actually used quite a lot recently, and that's Join.me. I'm sure you're familiar with this as well.
Very familiar with it, yes.
And it's great. It's an online platform that allows you to share your desktop screens. So let's say if you're, doing a phone meeting, and you want to show a client what you're talking about, or you want to go through websites, you can actually share your desktop screen with whoever you like, and this is great for proving a point or going over anything, and it's very helpful. And you could also record audio for meetings with participants that are not in the same room. So I think it's really good for meetings and doing things virtually.
I've actually used it occasionally for troubleshooting somebody else's computer as well, because a lot of times how somebody's trying to describe what the issue is and what's actually going on are two different things. So I've always used Join.me for that as well. So it's a great resource to work with somebody, collaborate with somebody else, or to work on their computer or whatever. So it's fantastic, absolutely. All right, next one on my list, and I'd be remiss and probably get scolded when I get back to the office if I don't bring this site up, but Zoovio.com. Zoovio.com. Of course, it's something that we developed a few years back, and I always find new uses for it. Zoovio is an online archive of video in a private vault. So it's not like YouTube where it's to the world. You can put your wedding videos in there, kids growing up, that type of thing. Go to Zoovio.com, and you can put up to 500 megs at a time into your vault for free. And what makes it even more unique is that if you have a Roku or a Google Nexus or Apple TV or whatever, we have apps for all of these, so you can watch them directly to your TV. So, for example, you could go out to your son's ball game during the afternoon. You could record that video with your phone, upload it to your Zoovio vault, and watch it on your big TV when you get home that night.
Very cool.
It is pretty cool. And, of course, if you have VHSs and that type of thing as well, you can get those converted and put into this vault as well. So all of your memories can be in one place and private. If you want to share them with friends and family, you can do that, but it defaults to the private setting. So that way you don't have to worry about anybody, breaking in and seeing those videos. Because a lot of videos that are out there, people just don't want to share all their family memories and that type of thing to the world, and you don't have to worry about that with this. And, of course, you have the ease of use of getting it to your television as well. So
that is great. I have used Flickr in the past, and the problem with Flickr is that you have to individually go in after you uploaded all of your media and actually turn each either video or image. You have to set it manually to private, which can take forever. If you're uploading a whole hard drive of images and videos from your family memories, I mean, who wants to sit there and spend hours individually putting each one to private.
Exactly. Yeah, you'll love Zuvio, and I would recommend that you get an account, Katie, and check it out. So
I think I will.
All right, next one on your list.
Ooh, okay. So, speaking of creativity, I found this one to be very interesting. It's called freesound.org. So freesound.org. And it's basically a royalty-free music website, so you can download any music for free. But one of the things I like the most is that they have a forum that's really active with members who are really involved in the community and very engaged. And I found that a lot of people in the forums will post something that they need, like a voiceover or a sound effect that they want and they can't find for free. And other members will create whatever you need and upload it for you to use. It's very, very great to connect and network with other people, and it saves you money. I mean, if you need a sound effect or if you need, let's say, a female robot voice to say, welcome to Zuvio.com, right? You could actually go on there, connect with somebody who will create the sound effect for you for free, and you can download it. So I think that's really neat.
So are you able to use these for commercial use as well?
I believe so. All of them are all different, and they have different usage rights, but it seems to me that they're royalty-free, and most of them, I think they are all free. So I think that you can use it, yes.
Okay. I've never heard of freesound.com, and I see Jim wrote that down too.
It's .org.
Or .org, okay, freesound.org. So I'm going to go check that out myself. So next one up is also for you, Jim, since you were just talking about music.
Mm-hmm.
Noteflight.com, Noteflight.com.
Noteflight,
Noteflight.com. Print music sheets, write your own music online.
Ah.
Ooh.
So Jim was talking about that he's been working on some music stuff. So if you need to print some music sheets, I mean, it's not a big deal, but this is like what Jim and I were talking about before you came on, Katie. There are so many unique uses, like iRuler.com. If you need a ruler, you can go to iRuler.com, and there's a ruler on your screen that you can measure, your graphic with that you're working on or whatever. Jim said if you need a clock, just
a stopwatch.
A stopwatch, yeah. Those are all things that's what makes the internet so useful, is that you can find most of the stuff online now.
There are websites for various math functions. If you're doing your math homework, you need to figure out an exponent, how it translates or whatever. I've even seen websites that will do some basic calculus things. Will do the derivative or the integral or backwards or forwards or whatever.
Sure. Interesting. So, Katie, what do you got next for us?
Okay, so this one I really like a lot, and it's a concept that you think, oh, wow, that's a great thing. Because, right, we do a lot of networking. We also will promote our contact details on the web. And one of the most, one of the biggest things that happens is people share their email address online, either on social media or on their website, their company website. And when you do so, that leaves you susceptible to bots and spiders that will basically take that email address, and next thing you know, your email address is hacked, or your email address goes to hackers, right? So this one website called scr.im. So it's scrim, but scr.im.
Okay.
It converts your email address into a tiny URL that allows you to safely share your email address on the web.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. If you publish a website address, your email address, after a while, you do start getting just tons and tons of spam.
Tell me about it.
And it's because of these spiders that go from website to website getting that information. So, all right, everybody, appreciate you being on the show. Katie, thanks for being on today.
Thank you.
And Jim.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Remember, everybody, in 4 short weeks, we will be moving to a 2-hour format. So we're very excited about doing that, and we hope you are as well. And until next week, we'll see you again.